Tulalip 1932 A Year in Review. The most notable event at Tulalip was the closing of the Tulalip Indian School. The school had been in operation since 1857. The school became government-run in 1869 and was the nation's first government contract school. There were 214 boys and girls enrolled at the school at the time of its closure. It was announced that with the closing, the children would be enrolled in public schools nearest their homes, with the government paying their tuition. Of the 214 students, 60 were from the Tulalip Reservation. Before there was a 7-member board of directors, there was a 5-member Tulalip Indian Council. Wilfred Steve was its chairman. The council protested the closing of the Indian School. The Tulalip Indian School, like the rest of boarding school's mission, was there to kill Indian culture and force assimilation. By this point, it was protesting, saying that the school was needed to benefit the Indian orphans and children of poor Indians. Parents in the Marysville School District also protested the incoming Indian students. Officials countered that the Indian students would be given strict health examinations and that cleanliness and health would be demanded from the incoming Indians. There would be a maximum of 3 or 4 Indian students per classroom. Eventually, approximately only 40 Indian students were enrolled in the Marysville School District. In July, Jerry Dominic, Chief Charles Jules, and Elizabeth Shelton attended a treaty rights hearing in Seattle. They were some of the 100 Puget Sound Indians awaiting an opportunity to testify on behalf of their claims for 8-acre land grants aggregating $60 million value promised the Indians by Governor Isaac Stevens in 1855. In May, the Tulalip Indian School students were treated to an unexpected visitor in the sky. The children and employees ran out onto the lawn to watch the U.S. Navy dirigible Akron float by the school until it disappeared on its way north. The Akron was one of the largest ever helium-filled airships. The Akron was on the West Coast tour, having originally departed from Lakehurst, New Jersey. In August, William Shelton and his family attended the Coupeville Water Festival. More than 15,000 attended. A feature of the 3-day event was the war canoe races, featuring the Indians from Washington State and British Columbia. Chief Charlie Snakelum, the oldest living Indian chief, was honored during the event. In July, Seattle was the site of the National Archery Tournament. Chief William Shelton was in attendance, demonstrating how his forefathers used the ancient weapon. In June, the Northwest Federation of American Indians Convention was held at Bagshaw Field in Everett. Indians from the Samish, Kikialis, Lower Skagit, Lummi, Swinomish, Snoqualmie, Stillaguamish, Suquamish, and Muckleshoot attended the gathering, providing dances and other entertainment. Rarely seen planks used in the Sacred Soul Recovery Ceremony were also on exhibit at the event. (1932) Vital Statistics. In 1932, the Indian population living on the Tulalip Reservation was around 600 plus. Born in 1932 were Norma Solomon, Eloise Brown, Morgan Moses, Carl Jones Jr., William Robert Sheldon, Gerald John Enoch Sr., Richard Hatch, Francis Bernard Charlie, Bernard Loris Joseph, Virginia Margaret Steinbach, Cecilia Harvey, Loretta Contrero, and Helen Clorindia Davis. Snohomish Indian Tommy Yar played for the national champion Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team. It was national news when he got married to Rosemary Killen of Chicago. And the highlight of 1932 at Tulalip was the story of 3 boys being saved from drowning by a 12-year-old Tulalip boy named Earl Moxie Reneker. The 3 boys were playing in Quilceda Creek on floating logs, but fell in. The boys were fully dressed with heavy coats and shoes and soon sank out of sight. Moxie was able to get 2 of the boys to the bank. He then grabbed the wrist of the oldest boy to hold him up out of the water until some men who had heard the boys yelling came to their assistance. Moxie remained at Tulalip, marrying the love of his life, Bernice Shelton, in 1942 and raised a fine family. And that was Tulalip 1932, A Year in Review.